In a coastal village named Seabreeze, where the ocean waves whispered tales of old, there stood a grand lighthouse on a rocky cliff. The lighthouse had guided countless sailors safely to shore with its bright, steady beam. The keeper of this lighthouse was a kind old man named Elias, who had dedicated his life to ensuring the light never went out. Elias was beloved by the villagers, who would often bring him gifts of fresh bread and stories from the sea. But there was one thing Elias cherished above all else, a mysterious, ancient compass he had inherited from his grandfather. The compass was not an ordinary one, it had a golden arrow that always pointed to the heart's deepest desire. The great storm one day, a great storm rolled in, fierce and wild. The sea roared, and the wind howled, tossing ships like toys. The villagers of Seabreeze huddled in their homes, fearful for their loved ones at sea. Elias stood at the top of the lighthouse, his heart heavy with worry. The storm raged on, and the lighthouse beam struggled to cut through the darkness. As he peered through the rain, Elias noticed that the light was dimming. The storm had damaged the lantern, and the flame was about to go out. The quest for the flame, knowing that without the light, the ships would be lost, Elias decided to make a daring journey to retrieve a special flame from the legendary Firefall Falls, a magical place said to have a never-ending flame. Elias packed a small satchel with supplies and took the ancient compass. The compass's golden arrow pointed steadfastly toward the north, guiding him through the stormy night. The challenges Elias braved the stormy sea in a sturdy boat, using his compass to navigate through the raging waters. Along his journey, he faced several challenges. 1. The rocky passage ** Elias had to steer through a treacherous rocky passage where giant waves crashed against the cliffs. He used his knowledge of the sea and the compass to find the safest route. 2. The mischievous merfolk * in the midst of the storm, Elias encountered a group of mischievous merfolk who tried to lead him astray with their enchanting songs. Elias remembered the stories his grandfather had told him and sang a heartfelt song of his own, which calmed the merfolk and earned their respect. 3. The dark forest * upon reaching the shore, Elias had to cross a dark forest where the trees whispered haunting sounds. The compass's golden arrow guided him through the forest, and he used his lantern to light the way. The Firefall Falls. After a long and arduous journey, Elias finally reached the Firefall Falls. The sight was breathtaking, flames cascaded down the rocks like a waterfall of fire, and the air was warm and comforting. Elias carefully collected a small portion of the magical flame into a vial, ensuring it was securely contained. The return with the vial in hand, Elias made his way back to the lighthouse. The storm was still raging, but his determination was unwavering. He navigated through the rocky passage, resisted the merfolk's tricks, and crossed the dark forest. As he reached the lighthouse, he saw that the beam was nearly out. With great care, Elias added the magical flame to the lantern. The moment the flame touched the lantern, it blazed brightly, cutting through the storm's darkness like a beacon of hope. The dawn, the ships at sea, guided by the renewed light, safely found their way to shore. As the storm subsided, the villagers emerged from their homes, cheering for Elias and the safety of their loved ones. The villagers threw a grand celebration in Elias's honor. The ancient compass, which had guided him through the storm, was placed in a special spot in the lighthouse, where it continued to point toward the heart's deepest desires. The legacy from that day on, the lighthouse was known not just for its guiding light, but also for the courage and selflessness of its keeper. Elias continued to care for the lighthouse with the same dedication, and his story was told to every child in Seabreeze. And whenever the villagers faced their own storms, they would remember Elias's bravery and the magical flame that had saved their lives. The golden arrow of the ancient compass was a reminder that even in the darkest times, hope and courage could light the way.